Row on Avon's.
Hello and welcome to the amazing Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium for round 5 of the 2015 British GT Championship. This amazing track is in the heart of the Ardennes forest, which this weekend will echo to the mighty sounds of those GT engines as the teams race flat out in another tough 2-hour endurance special. So, we have Spa and sports cars. It doesn't get much better than this.
It's my favourite track. I'm sure if you ask loads of people up and down the pit lane, it would be their favourite track.
Fantastic. You look outside and you've got a nice view of a Rouge and Pouon. You know, it's a great scenery and the sun's shining. So what more do you want?
It's just got that atmosphere where, I daren't say it, but you're on holiday. You've travelled, you're here, and it's just got that feeling that you're racing somewhere special.
So before we prepare to race around this stunning track, let's remind ourselves what happened last time out at another legendary circuit, Silverstone. Here's Martin Haven.
3 hours of Silverstone is the race all the teams really want to win more than any other. And that meant one thing from the start: drama. In horrible conditions, poleman Andrew Howard made a mistake at the start and spun off, handing the lead to the McLaren of Gilles Vannelet. Early conditions were tough as they fought it out in the spray. Derek Johnston lost control of his Aston on the wet track, spinning into the path of Gary Eastwood. The Ferrari driver had nowhere to go. Both cars were wrecked. That brought out the safety car, and the team sprang into life, pitting to try and use it to their advantage. As the rain stopped and the track quickly dried, it was all about tyre choice. The 22 GT team changed to slicks early, and the gamble paid off as they shot up the order. Everything was looking good for the team until Mark Farmer went off heavily into the pit wall. Once more, the safety car was scrambled, and much to everyone's relief, Mark climbed out in one piece. That left us with a sprint to the flag. The race fell into the hands of the Von Ryan McLaren. Adrian Quaife-Hobbs brought the car home, much to the delight of the team. Our 4th different winners in 4 races. The GT4 class saw just as much action. Rockingham winner Jamie Chadwick was nudged into an early spin. The battle for the class lead was intense. Os Yusuf couldn't hang on as Terry Langley's Aston Martin went around the outside. Within a couple of corners, the Lotus had gone from 1st to 4th. Langley's lead was short-lived. Will Moore shot through to head the field. As others fell by the wayside, the Aston Martin of Jamie Chadwick and Ross Gunn put on an impressive recovery drive. They worked their way steadily back into contention, eventually claiming the lead and heading to their 2nd win of the season. Consistency and speed have been the key for champion Marco Attard and teammate Alexander Sims this year. They lead the standings, but the championship is still wide open. Close battle for 2nd in GT4, but victory in Silverstone could be the big break for our Beechstein pairing. They now have a significant gap over their class rivals. The 2nd win of the season, putting them almost a full weekend in front.
I think we've obviously had some good results in the last 2 races with 2 wins between Ross and I, and I think that's definitely boosted our championship. But it's a long road ahead, and I think obviously we're looking for consistency. We've got a reliable car and a good team behind us. I think we're definitely just looking to get some strong results and hopefully push up in the championship and extend our lead.
AAA BMW of Lee Mole and Joe Osborne had a strong 2nd place at Silverstone, keeping them right in contention for the GT3 title.
It was frustrating not to get the win, but the 2nd place was more than enough to sort of haul ourselves up towards the front of the leaderboard, which was good. It's a shame that the first place car wasn't actually taking championship points. That gave a bit of an annoyance factor. They wanted to get past him, but second was a strong result for us for sure.
It's race time here at Spa, and this one is going to be tasty. A 2-hour endurance battle with pit stops, refueling, and one of the most iconic and exhilarating tracks in racing. Now, a quick word on GT3, and this is clearly an Aston track because on pole it's Andrew Howard with Liam Griffin tucked in just behind him. But have a look at the GT4 grid. This is a category that is growing in strength and stature. As you can see on pole, it's the Lotus of Oz Yusuf and Gavin Kershaw.
Ready for the rolling start, round 5 of the Avon Tyres British GT Championship in stunning weather at Spa. Aston Martins of Andrew Howard on pole and Liam Griffin alongside him fill the front row. Then the BMWs, John Minshaw and Marco Attard, the points leader. And Griffin already leaping away. Andrew Howard should be pacing them to the change of lights. Ahmed El-Harthi on the right-hand side trying to come around from row 4 of the grid. He sweeps past the BMWs. Huge field in GT3 and GT4. Black Lotus on the left there, Oz Yusuf on pole. Beechstein Aston Martin, the points leaders. Jamie Chadwick sweeps around the outside into La Source, the hairpin. First corner in a collision already. Adrian Barwick clattering into Graham Johnson as Johnson went for the apex and Barwick was already there. Out of Eau Rouge and Radion with Lee Mole in the 888 BMW, climbing the long, power-sapping Kemmel Straight. Good exit, gets himself into the slipstream, and he comes around Andrew Jarman for 5th place. Liam Griffin still leading as Andrew Howard looks around the outside, and up into 3rd has gone the BMW of John Minshaw. Everybody jockeying for position on the opening lap. Let's take a look again on board with Adrian Barwick. Okay, I think Barwick may have been a little ambitious there, braking too late. Oz Yusuf, Jamie Chadwick and Alexander Sherpen, the top 3 in the GT4 class. Paul McNeely, David Patterson. There's Adrian Barwick a little further back with the yellow stripes. Battle for second, and out very wide has gone Minshaw. Andrew Howard trying to hold the tight line as they came up through Blanchimont and up to the bus stop. Liam Griffin still the race leader. BMW in 3rd place now in a real Aston Martin sandwich. Lee Mole's got one in front and astern of him as well in the 888 Z4. 888 without the top speed perhaps that it needs on this track. Andrew Howard in 2nd though, being harassed by the Demon Tweaks car. Then Ahmed El-Harthi number 2. Right behind him number 888 Lee Mole, pulling gears as fast as he can, accelerating hard down this very steep hill. Silverstone Grand Prix circuit about an 11-metre altitude change from the highest to the lowest point. Here, 100 metres. And much of that they climb out of Eau Rouge. Into the pits, Adrian Barwick. Drive-through penalty for that contact at the start. Clattered into Graham Johnson. Sounds like the stewards thought he was being over-ambitious as well. There's the group of cars that he was battling with. They all race on as he crawls through the pit lane on the speed limiter. Going to be a long recovery here in this 2-hour race at Spa. There's your leader, Liam Griffin. Andrew Howard in 2nd, change for 3rd now. This is a really good run, this lap from Lee Mole, drafted by Ahmed El-Harthi and John Minshaw into the braking area at Les Combes. On board with Minshaw in the Demon Tweaks BMW, riding the curbs on the exit and immediately starting to plunge downhill, dropping 100 metres in the next 3 corners through the long right-hander at Rivage, and then sweeping down to one of the most daunting parts of the track, the fast double left-handers at Pouhon. GT4 leader Oz Yusuf up to Les Combes, pulling away now from Jamie Chadwick in 2nd and Alexander Sherpen in 3rd in the Ginetta. The BMW battle for 3rd place continues. Lee Mole with John Minshaw behind him. Lowest part of the track now as they come through the 2 rights at Stavelot and start to climb once more. David Patterson a long way off track on a big tarmac runoff area. Looks like the car's okay, yes, he gets it going once more. What happens to the Tolman Motorsport entry? A little wide on the outside of Graham Coombs, and unfortunately not enough grip on the AstroTurf. Wouldn't have helped the tyres much. GT4 battle for 10th, 2 Lotuses, and in the middle, Anna Valeska in her Ginetta tries to go around the outside of Richard Taffender, the number 53 car, but he's got the advantage. Tim Eakin just in front, and here is Adrian Barwick. So 14th is where he has ended up after his drive-through, trying to chase down that group in front. GT4 leader at Lecom, Oz Yusuf already now 4 seconds and counting ahead of Jamie Chadwick, who's got Alexander Shep, and right behind in that white Ginetta, there's the battle for second. Here's our race leader, Liam Griffin. This is his last opportunity to serve a drive-through for the jump start into the pit lane. He's got no option. Tried to build up as much of a lead as he could. Didn't give it back, that might have been the other option. Beach Team Aston Martin of Andrew Howard, now the race leader. And that moves the 888 BMW up into second. Third place now is the Aston Martin of Stuart Leonard and Michael Meadows. That's the yellow and black car right in the middle of your shot, ahead of John Minshaw. Not championship regulars, but having an outing here at Spa to get some practice for their regular campaign. And there's Joe Osborne, watching Liam Griffin serve his drive-through. Well, it was all cut and dried, really. Andrew Howard should have been pacing the field. Griffin went early, and once he was committed, decided his only option was to try and run away from the field. Unfortunately, that was the most obvious jump start of the season by a mile. Big gap now at the head of GT4, Oz Yusuf leading, second in the standings behind the Beach Team Aston of Jamie Chadwick, who's chasing him, and Ross Gunn. 31.5 points adrift, 37.5 on offer for victory here. So if there's a problem for the Beach Team car, then the Lotus could be right in there. Here's the other Beach Team Aston, Andrew Howard, looking in his mirrors, and that is why Stuart Leonard down the inside takes the lead of the race at the bus stop. A challenge behind, John Minshaw gets in too deep under braking and overshoots the bus stop. Lee Mole retakes third place, while Minshaw was briefly in front for, I don't know, nanosecond, couldn't get the car stopped. There's 2 ways to skin a cat here at the bus stop, the right-hand side or the left-hand side. Lee Mole takes the grippier right side, lunging down the inside comes John Minshaw. He's never going to stop, was it? But stopping is the 888 car, so Minshaw does move into third. Lee Mole in real trouble here at Spa. Round 5, Avon Tyres British GT Championship, and former champion Andrew Howard in second place in beautiful conditions in his Aston. There's the leader, Stuart Leonard, then Howard's John Minshaw, Tim Verbate in the yellow and white Aston. Battle for 6th, oh, contact! Rick Parfitt knocks Marco Attard, the champion, into a spin. Parfitt rejoins, oh, split cooler. Now, I don't know if that is oil or coolant for the radiators, but something has burst and he's leaving a trail. There is Stuart Leonard romping away here. Great race he's having. A trouble, that's Marco Attard off again. And that is the Aston of Derek Johnston facing the wrong way. Rick Parfitt Jr. also went through. The gravel and Grant Coombe spins, avoids the Aston. Carnage. Now are they going off on fluid, left by Parfitt and Adrian Barwick a long way off and into the barriers. Wow, well, that was a big hit. Well, we saw the coolers burst on Rick Parfitt's car. Safety car will be out and the pit window open. Talk about confusion. Well, in comes, no surprises, everybody now to make their mandatory stop. Perfect timing for the teams, but also a very busy pit lane. Stuart Leonard leads them in. Andrew Howard comes to a halt. Saw John Minshaw's car coming in. Everybody scrambling for the pit lane. That's great news actually for the rescue workers, because the track will be very quiet for another few minutes while they try and tidy up the mess down at Piff Path. So let's see here. So Rick Parfitt misjudges a move on Marco Attard. There's contact. Watch Parfitt's car over the curbs. Something coming out the front, little sparks there. He drives past Marco Attard, and then we see steam, or is it oil? Anyway, something coming off the car with Adrian Barwick. Yellow flags, he's trying to stop for the spun Porsche and Aston, but just skates off into the barriers. The whole field safety car changes, hasn't broken up the lead battle. Michael Meadows, Johnny Adam, Phil Keane, the 1, 2, 3, all but nose to tail. Beechstein Aston Martin in second. Let's hear from co-driver Andrew Howard.
Andrew, if, and I hope this is a big if this is your last season racing in British GT.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to talk about the race.
No. Because I know you've warned me in the past, so I'm not going to talk about it. I know not to do that anymore. If this is your last season racing in British GT, you're going to miss places like this.
Listen, if this is my last season, which I think it will be, I will massively miss, I will massively miss British GT. It is a phenomenal championship, and coming to venues like this, I mean, depending on where we finish, we've never finished higher than third at Spa, so, there's a lot to do, there's a lot to keep doing, but also, if you've been in one place for a long time, you need to think about trying other things as well.
His teammate Johnny Adam is all over the back of Michael Meadows. Meadows being very cavalier with the track limits. He ought to be careful about that. 4 wheels off as he came up to the bus stop trying to defend against the Beechstein Aston. All to no avail though. Johnny Adam sends it down the inside at the hairpin at La Source, takes back the lead of the race. So in second place now, Michael Meadows in the yellow and black machine. And Phil Keane chasing them down the hill in the Z4 BMW. Aston's 1-2. The BMW, though, showing good pace here at Spa. Internationally, it's renowned for not having enough top speed here at the Spa 24 Hours. Well, here's our GT4 race leader, Gavin Kershaw, taking over from Oz Yusuf. Oz has led from pole all the way through. And the Lotus, like the BMW, seems to have plenty of pace here at Spa. It's a very fast and flowing track. Oh, and trouble! That is the Ginetta of James Birch, and it was Mike Hart looping around in the Aston Martin. This is a Les Combes. Birch in the barriers. What happens? Well, it is Mike Hart trying to pass Mike Robinson on the inside, and then suddenly James Birch decides he's going to have a little lunge up the inside of the Aston, and I'm not sure that Mike Hart saw that one coming. Leader Johnny Adam clear of the battle for second, which is now catching the GT4 Aston of Jake Giddings around the outside. Michael Meadows maybe just a little held up. Phil Keane's having a lunge at the bus stop. Down the inside goes the BMW, well controlled. So John Minshaw lunging in the inside earlier and misjudging it, but Phil Keane held that together really well. Moves up to second, and Michael Meadows is right there. Can he counter-attack? Not down the inside into La Source. That might stick for Phil Keane, but the long drag up the hill might be his undoing. Good exit off the corner from Michael Meadows. He got a really good drive, but Phil Keane up through the gears, gets his nose back in front for Eau Rouge. Looks like he's determined to hang on to that second place and keep the Aston behind him. Battle for fourth here in the GT4 class. Dennis Strandberg in the Aston Martin. Jamie Stanley all over the back of him in the Ginetta. The Aston Martin Ginetta battle pretty fast and frantic. And out front, it's all about the Lotus this weekend. As long as it can stay stitched together around the high-speed demands of Spa. Gavin Kershaw looking very comfortable in the lead. The Beechstein Aston Martin chasing in second, but not able to challenge at the moment. Just seen the battle for fourth in GT4. This is the battle for fourth in GT3. Again, Aston Martin, but versus Mercedes. That's Lewis Plato with the green highlights chasing Jody Fannin around the outside at Les Combes. Fannin brakes very late. Plato also late. 2 into 1 rarely goes well there. The Mercedes goes straight on around the escape road. Both have lost a little bit of bodywork. Dive planes on the ground. The Aston looked like it got in front. There's your race leader, Johnny Adam, a long way clear now in the 007 Aston Martin. Oh, and trouble, and that is Lewis Plato off in the Mercedes. And is that a right rear puncture? I think it might be. Contact there. Yeah, you can see the tyre trying to come off the rim. And that's not his tyre, but the Mercedes is definitely sitting down at the bottom of the right. Looks like it's still got a sidewall attached, and that's got to be the carcass then of the... Hang on a minute, no, what's that then? Oh my goodness, the Aston Martin has lost a tyre as well. left rear and right rear of the two cars that made contact. Look, you can just see what's... But hang on a minute, that wasn't his rear tyre. He didn't have a rear tyre. Where's that come from? It's the left front. The Aston Martin has lost both left side tyres. Look at that, my goodness. Well, insert your own Eurostar running on metal rails joke there. Mercedes back in the pit road, right rear tyre going on. It looks as though everything else is A-OK. They'll probably change the right front as well, maybe all four. Oh goodness, what a strange incident. This, nothing strange, this is absolutely standard stuff. Contact wheel to wheel, bang, bang, bang. Oh, you can see both the tyres on the Aston are flat instantly there in that slow motion. The Mercedes at least holds air for a moment. The Aston is back in. I'm not sure Jody Fannin is going out though. Let's hear from Lewis Plato's teammate.
So it would be remiss not to chat to you about what I would describe as a racing incident today. What happened?
I don't actually know, if I'm really honest. I know Lou was pegging the Aston within half a second. I think from what I've heard, he made a move, made it stick and was hit by the other car, but then we would always say that. And for once, it's not me in the car.
P-Sheen have already won twice in GT4, and in just 2 corners' time, they're going to add a second win in GT3. Johnny Adam brings the 007 Aston Martin to the checkered flag. Victory at Spa has always eluded them until this moment, and the team applaud a great job well done through all the chaos and confusion of an epic race. And Phil Keane and John Minshaw, who started the Demon Tweaks BMW, they're going to record a well-deserved result. BMW not always the strongest car here at Spa. That is a great points finish for them. Gavin Kershaw takes the Lotus to the line. The GT4 win from pole position never seriously looked in doubt. Whatever else happened, the Lotus seemed to be Teflon coated and avoided all the dramas. Well done indeed. Victory in GT4. Second win of the season for Oz Yusuf and Gavin Kershaw keeps the Lotus pairing in the GT4 title hunt. And it's win number 2 for 2015 for former champion Andrew Howard in the Aston Martin with co-driver Johnny Adam.
It's been a long time since Alton Park, but it's the car was tremendous. Team done a great job. Andrew's stint was good. It's such a close race as well. You know, there's not a lot between all the cars over like 3 or 4 manufacturers. So good race, lovely to do it in lovely weather as well.
To win at Spa, I've never done it, you know, at this level. And the last 20 minutes, seeing the Aston with on it 2 rims coming in, the Lotus has never done 2 hours and its tyres are full. And you felt every bump. I tried to miss every curb. So no, amazing. But Aussie won it for us. What an amazing stint. Just unlucky with so many safety cars.
Spa has closed up both championship battles. We don't have a tie for second in GT3. They're less than 15 points away from our leaders Attard and Sims. And similarly, in the GT4 class, Yusuf and Kershaw have slashed 10 points out of Chadwick and Gunn's lead, now down to just 21.
So congratulations to Oz Yusuf and Gavin Kershaw for that impressive GT4 win. And of course, Andrew Howard and Johnny Adam will be delighted with their victory in the GT3 class. But of course, those two aren't the only victors, because frankly, both of those wins have thrown the championship wide open, which is exactly what we want as we move back to the UK and Brands Hatch for the next round. We'll see you there.
On track, on road, on Avons.